Mad up. I don't understand why Keem always has to be in here just in time.
I think he has to make a challenge for himself. Look how fine I can cut it.
100%.
I was here like a minute ago, man. Allow it.
Shut it.
How you doing?
Nice. Welcome back to the Fickos in Quarantine. Here with myself, Big J.
You're a CheekySport act.
Relegation Jack. Oh, I said it over Jack. Ah! We got Tariq in the building.
Yeah, obviously everyone's thinking, bro, where the hell's Chris, bro? Where's like Chris? Don't worry about that, brother. That brother, we say he's breaking lockdown rules again.
Yeah, you know what he's like.
Come on. It's mad because I feel like I'm the most delayed here today, so you guys are gonna have to give me a chance to speak.
Yeah, what's going on?
Delayed. Say internet's back on a madness.
You know one of them guys when they go to like a war-torn country and they send a guy out there on the video camera and then
and bro's waiting for the answer like this. Yes, we'll be back.
Then 5 second delays and they already cut you off and said we got to go. Wow.
Yo, it's the word. You get me? Sorry, guys. There is no Townsend today. The man like Lucky Chris isn't here.
He's topping up the hairline.
It is funny though, yeah, because the way I wanted to start the show today was with this.
That picture was legendary. Oh my days! How can a man look glowed up without his hairline and he's older? I don't get it.
How old do you think he is in this one?
I don't know, man. He could be
22.
He looks like an old young.
I thought 19.
Bro, how old is that Sega kit though? When is it?
That is like 2001, probably 2002.
Nah.
I remember Will Tour wearing that shirt. So
you're trying to say he was 22 in 2001.
Hey, there was all that time.
No, he might have been,
Yeah, it's true. He might have been actually.
I don't know.
Hey, you lot, what do you guys think about when you say no Chris, no party? Chris is right here on the screen, bro. I don't even know
what you're talking about. He's here, mate.
I probably wanted Chris to defend himself for that picture because I was thinking, bro, this looks absolutely mad.
Someone said he's shopping for Vaseline for Man City.
Hey, listen, though, man. Either way, it's back and football's back. That's the main thing, man. Premier League is finally here. I see the bros are wearing their shirts and that again. Tariq, you're wearing that shirt with pride?
I have to. I'm ready, man. Like, I feel like now no one has any excuses. Like, this is actually a time where no one has excuses. Everyone plays each other equally.
Everyone playing each other equally.
Tariq, you're right. And that's why you should be worried, man. To be honest.
No, but you know why you lot should be worried is because you lot are doing the most talking. Oh, Pogba's back. You don't want to see.
Well, you know what? Don't worry, guys.
You know, like, all your hopes and dreams are bound
to chill.
I'm being real.
Akeem, chill. We're gonna get to matches later on in the show. You know, we'll have your chance to do your little Spurs versus United preview. Relax. We got bigger plans. Don't worry. We're going to go through the topics that we have and we will build to the fact that the Premier League's back. I feel like there's been a few different things that's happened in sport this week that I did want to bring up. One of the main things I wanted to talk about, obviously, was Rashford's open letter to the people and all the work he's done.
What a man, bro.
Great work.
This guy, absolute bad boy. Like, yeah.
And let's not just say before we even talk about that. Let's even shout out to him before he done this. He's been doing lockdown. He's been doing a lot of work in lockdown. Do you know what I'm saying? He's an age where no one will get upset if he just sat at home and played FIFA.
100%.
No, but just to add context, like you're right. He's 22 years old, and from right when lockdown started. All right, for those who don't know. Marcus Rashford was saying, like himself, he was talking about this from a situation that he's lived, where he knows that school dinners is a vital part of a vital meal that he knows that he was fortunate enough to have when he was growing up, and he knows that the fact that these kids are not going to school during quarantine during self-isolation, they're going to be missing out on that vital meal. So he was obviously doing everything he could to ensure that some of these kids could get that missing school dinners. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And even push for it to go through to the summer.
That's probably
And even the fact the government said no, like the fact that they turned around and said, yeah, they're going to give, what is it, 120 million?
Yeah, 120 M.
120 M is like, apparently like 1.3 kids.
Though, that's, somebody in this position, if they put a bit of pressure on governments or companies to do certain things, and things can be actually done. So for that saying that you're wasting your time, or you're not, what's the point of you doing this or doing that? It's rubbish, because Rashford is a pure example of someone that has persevered and been, persistent with, this specific subject, and it's proven to actually take dividends in the end. So big up Rashford, man, every single time, because for me, that's what, people like that are holding the highest, highest personally. So
I think it just says a lot about what, like, I don't know. I think I don't want to bring his age into it, but it's the fact he's so young, and like you said, Akeem, like he could easily be at home doing up FIFA. You know what I mean? Getting gassed about the PlayStation 5, but he literally just said, you know what? I actually got to do something throughout lockdown. And you know what it is? I know it might sound ridiculous, but I feel like sometimes when you do these sort of good things, it gives you a boost in the workplace. Like I can imagine him going to training and feeling like better, like right. You know what?
100%. You know
what I'm saying? It's good.
And you see, and you know what? In the last couple of weeks, for various different reasons, it's shown. Finally, do you know what I'm saying? It's finally shown the power of what influence does in it. If you put it to work in the right way, things happen in it. Do you know what I'm saying? And that goes for the Rashford thing. That goes with statues being taken down. You just see action is being taken if there's enough pressure or the right pressure in the right way. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
of course, especially when you remember that, the people that control a lot of things, they base a lot of their stuff on what the majority say anyway. So if they get a lot of pressure towards something, it's very likely they're going to actually do something about it, because you can't ignore millions of people battering a certain point in a certain situation. And I think, as Akeem says, it's the perfect example of, how influence actually helps and works in the situation. So I hope this is many more things. I hope this is the beginning of more things from other football musicians or anyone that has any sort of influence. So here's to
I was gonna say it's even better like that. He took his own initiative. So throughout the whole quarantine, he just on his own initiative, like by himself, you know what I mean?
How come you're echoing? Turn your volume down. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds mad.
Tariq with that volume.
Say that again. Am I still echoing? Come back.
Yeah. I just feel
What is going on?
Why is it not working on your side? What's happened?
I don't know. Let me see if it's me. I'll come back in.
Hey, it's a big man. You need some headphones. Hey, the pros are moving. The pros are moving. Mad, fam. Hey, no. These the man know that we're live. Hey, listen. What, Tariq? You ain't got no headphones, my brother?
No, I think I do. What? Am I calm?
You sound better now. You sound better now. Yeah, we sound a little better. Hey, listen, people, let us know in the comments below, man. How we sounding right now?
Tottenham fan bottling their chance to be on the comment.
Oh, no, I missed it.
So people,
listen.
Yeah, that was a horrible comment.
People like her, the less attention we give her, the less likely she's going to say stupidness. Because the way I understand, we will get vexed by what she says. But if you give her a platform to say these things, she's going to continue doing it because she's a troll and she loves the attention. Do you know what I mean? So, 100%.
I'm going to keep it 100% real now.
Big up Original Base Andy for the donation as well. But you're talking truth. But you can't let these people have life, man. Because she actually makes a living off doing this stupidness because we give her attention.
Bro, you're right. Before, like, I'm beginning to clock more. Like, you're not well. Like, she needs therapy or something. She's actually mad tight.
She went to the protest in disguise.
Oh,
but you know what? And she says things that the problem is that there's that same issue. Is that there's an issue of not giving her any a publicity, but so like don't share, blah blah blah. But in the same way, there are people who seem to like her for some reason. So it's almost like someone needs to show what an idiot she is. Otherwise, people are going to continue to follow her because she's got followers. She's got a following. People seem to like her for some reason. That just shows how rotten this country and world is. You know what I'm saying? It's mad.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I want to go back to a previous point. I want to get you lot's opinion on this. Before we move on to what's happening with Black Lives Matter in the Premier League. There's a basketball player who goes by the name of Kyrie Irving, who's actually leading the charge right now, and he doesn't want he wants to try and start a coalition of NBA players and force them to not continue to play the NBA while all this racial tension is happening in America. And we've obviously seen this previously with Colin Kaepernick, who was just obviously one man taking the knee, before matches and that. And obviously it caused a lot of uproar. He ended up getting sacked and all of that. And he doesn't play for any team. I wanted to know what you lot thought about a sportsman kind of taking this stance and trying to get, whereas before it was just like one man. Like Kyrie's not just saying, he's actually calling on all the man them to link up and really kind of take a stand together. I wanted to know what you lot's opinions were on that.
Yeah. Obviously I heard about that news, innit? And what he's been trying to do. Personally, I think he's gonna come across the same problems that Kaepernick came from years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? Where he's not gonna be able to stop NBA coming back, and he's not gonna be able to build a collective big enough to force any change in it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel that's just the way it goes. Even in the Premier League, I think if Troy Deeney did, or people like Troy Deeney did come out even and say, look, let's come to a collective of people who are not going to come back, I don't think it'll work. That's the truth. I just don't think it'll work, because you'll have to get so many players together, so many big names together, and all take that stand. And I think a lot of people won't decide to do that. You know what I mean? That's it. I think everyone's thinking about their career. I think when it gets to a certain point, I think a lot of people think about their own career. They're thinking about their contracts. They're thinking about their age, their aging. I'm not saying it's all selfish, but I think a lot of people, even the people who are deeply hurt by their matters, like Black Lives Matter, I think they're just thinking, you know what? Like, I may as well come back and just play. Do you know what I mean? So
I agree with the team.
And I think at the same time, you can't blame them.
What did you think? What do you think that?
I agree with Akeem. I think when it comes to stuff, when it comes to the topic of race, I think, and your livelihood, I think stuff like that really, whatever decision they decide to make, I think they should be. I would agree with and be fine with. But again, at the same time, what Akeem is saying, I agree with, because it's all going to well being at the forefront of making change. But I think some people find it quite difficult to be able to actually risk their whole career, bearing in mind that, for example, if you're an NBA player, you have a very short lifespan in your career. So once your career is done, you've got a whole another half of your life left to live. And, this is a good opportunity for them to make as much money as they can in that period. So, whilst, it would be great to see change being action in that aspect, you have to understand the viewpoint of other people that don't feel
like they would want to make a stand in it. No, you're right.
There's other ways you could do it, to be fair. There's being an active player in the NBA and forcing change whilst being an active player. There's different ways of doing it. So, like, the way Colin Kaepernick did it was amazing. One of the most iconic things to have ever happened in sport, in my opinion. But if you continue to play in say football in the NBA, and you do stuff like what Troy Deeney and who was it? Troy Deeney and who was it?
Wes Morgan.
Wes Morgan. Do what they've done, where they remain playing football, but they've created something which has changed the.
Let's talk a bit about that, man. I think that's a great segue into it. Like, obviously, we've had some of the Premier League players from 20 clubs made a statement about, it's just basically about the players coming together. You know what I mean, and making a stand. If they want to take a knee that they're able to, they want to have like a badge, a Black Lives Matter badge on all the shirts. I think with the first 12 games, they're going to have Black Lives Matter on the back. You guys, anybody there who hasn't seen the statement already. And I think this was like an amazing thing, man. I think this was like, especially just to start back, I feel like there's been a lot of conversations in regards to when the Premier League returned, innit? And obviously the tensions are higher right now. around the world in regards to protesting, and you know, we've had brands and companies trying to be on the right side of the fence in regards to racism and stamping it out. And we've spoken about racism in football for a long time, and some of the governing bodies that have tried to regulate certain things. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's you know what I mean? There's some things that I've always felt like hasn't worked, but has worked. I've never really been a fan of the whole kick it out racism kind of thing. We've worked with them before, and you know, they've always explained to me, Jermaine, we do more than just, you know, we do more than just put on shirts and that. We actually tried to make some serious moves in that behind the scenes that we don't see. So I don't know.
Oh, look, let me be real. You wanna read this out first, yeah?
Yeah, big up.
Yeah.
Is it Amir? I think that's how you
yeah, he just said, word of advice, don't talk over each other. Try stay on one topic. Wait, like a Chris ain't here. Never mind. I did my day.
Big up. Thank you very much, man.
Big up. Like from my side, like I'm a bit skeptical about it. I'll be real with you. Like I don't think all this shirt BS is just like nonsense. It doesn't really do anything, to be honest with you. And I feel it's a good stand. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they're actionable, and it's not just about BLM. It's not just about BLM. It's not just about Black Lives Matter. I mean, even on this whole coronavirus thing that we've been talking about over the last couple of months.
They said they're going to wear NHS badge, though.
Yeah, there's action. Yeah, but there's actionable steps. It's a little bit like the claps, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? There's only so much that really does. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we get it. The Premier League players stand against racism, and the Premier League players love NHS. We get it, but what is actually being done to fix it? Do you know what I'm saying? That's why even I know it's not about the NHS or Black Lives Matter, but that's why I even say another big up to people like Harry Kane who put his money to help one of the clubs, one of the lowly, was it Leyton Orient?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? He actually done something. Do you know what I'm saying? He actually done something to help something that is a problem right now, which is going to be another big problem. Football clubs even surviving, do you know what I'm saying? Even after all of this crisis, do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like all of these stands and these meals, why don't they come across with something like we're putting every club's putting 1M from the Premier League towards this movement for Black Lives Matter. Do you know what I'm saying? Start taking a knee is what's that for? Do you know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna do nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't really have anything to say about it. I just think it's a bit like we've seen that all before. We've seen all of them UEFA Champions League no to racism when Ronaldo and Messi are on it. What does that do? It does nothing, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't do anything.
Fair enough. I feel like you know what it is. You're right. I can't really tell you in terms of what it's gonna do. I'm hoping that more of these things are just more conversation starters. I think that, again, even in regards to my Kyrie Irving thing, seeing the players come together sometimes for real change. Because players are more important. You know, when I was watching The Last Dance, and Michael Jordan was badding up. Remember, he kept badding up that general manager, the chubby guy.
Yeah.
And if you not watch The Last Dance, remember he kept badding up the chubby guy. Like he's like, he knows that great team. Like like a great organization is what wins trophies, but the players are the most important thing. And MJ always felt like, wrong, we're the players, we are the most important thing in the franchise, basically. You know what I mean? And sometimes I think if the players know their power more, even though there are other players who are always willing to come in, these staple players are big names. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So if they were to make a stand and have the same solidarity that they have at the moment, bruv, who knows, man? I'll be real with you. I feel like change is coming.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I always say, like, when we talk about even little things not even related to football, like, something is always better than nothing. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with Akeem in terms of, like, we've seen it all before, the say no to racism T-shirts. But it's like, even if we have to see it every single year and it makes even the 1% difference, then, do you know what I mean? Obviously, your point
of... It's not making any difference, mate.
It's true. Seeing all the players stick together for one thing, even if it changes one person, it changes one person. Do you know what I mean? But your point about obviously football teams coming together to donate to a certain cause, that is probably 10 times more effective than what they're doing. But it's like something is always better than nothing. Do you know what I mean?
100%. But also at the same time, I think a lot of these companies that are out here doing their little statements, it's all rubbish to me personally, because the only reason why a lot of these people are doing it is just to save face and not get any trouble with, with the whole movement. And I think I agree with Akeem. I think it's got to come to a point where What are you actually doing? You can sit here and say, yeah, Black Lives Matter, but if you're not actually doing anything about it as a company, then how can I take it seriously? But then at the same time, I also agree with Tariq because, if we have a situation here where we've got unity throughout the whole Premier League, where everybody is standing together to portray one message, which is good to see. But then we've seen in the past as we've had stuff like Kick It Out, which has done absolutely nothing to tackle racism. Not to the level it should have done, personally.
Not to the level it should have done. Yeah. Keep it real, like.
I think what Kick It Out want to do is amazing, but I don't think it's their fault. They haven't been able to actually make the impact they should do because the people in higher places, let's say, I'm not going to say names, but I think they haven't been able to action certain things because it's what Rio said. I remember hearing him say this on an interview or a podcast a while ago. He didn't like wearing it because it just felt like a little novelty event where you do one weekend, you wear the t-shirt, and then you just keep it moving again. It's like, what does it actually do? Because if you're doing it for one day or one game weekend and then fobbing it off, then there's no progress there. You're literally you're doing it. It's like Easter. It's like celebrating Easter or Christmas. Yeah, we'll do it, and then next, keep it moving after. Just forget for the rest of the year.
100%. 100%.
Elliot says something is better than nothing, but they're doing the minimal when they know they can do more, man. We'll see, Elliot, man. I do feel like players have been, they're beginning to make a real stand, and I do think there's going to be like a real. I see a change coming. I don't know why. I'm a bit more optimistic than usual. I don't feel like this is the same old. We have seen it all before. I agree with you guys, but it doesn't feel like same old right now. All right, let's move on to the next thing that man found out. I don't know if you man heard about this.
What?
I heard about.
Yeah. Tariq, you wouldn't have heard about it.
Neither would you.
Neither would you.
Neither would you.
What I could have done? Like, why are we all chatting like we're all in the Champions League final? We're gonna make it. Like, come on.
We're not that Champions League no good to us, but we're in the Europa League, innit? So,
so basically, apparently, I don't know. I read this at the time. Basically, they're trying to do like a mini tournament in Lisbon.
Oh yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, for the Champions League. You hear about this?
Yeah. They're trying to do. What country was it meant to be in?
So Europa League. Sorry, they're gonna do in Germany. Like a little mini tournament thing,
yeah,
and then for the Champions League, they're gonna do like a little thing in Lisbon. That's kind of mad, no?
Yeah, Portugal. I think they're gonna do it like a World Cup style, where
like a little World Cup style, like
they just play the games back to back.
Yeah. That's kind of mad. And then start of August, finished on the 29th of August. No, Akeem ain't rating it. You're not rating it.
No, because football's going to be ruined because it's like you do this, and then when's the Premier League going to start again?
If there's any Liverpool fans watching, this is the maddest year of football. Like, does that trophy? Is that trophy going to feel the same?
No, and I imagine like 30 years for a trophy, and then coronavirus wipes it all out, and then you still win it, but everyone's like, "Oh,
no one cares." Like,
no one cares.
Imagine they win it this weekend, and then what? Like. That's it. You've won it. Do you know what I mean? That's more important.
Flintop Bradman's right though. PSG will be benefiting.
Yeah, but it's like.
But then again, they haven't been playing, so they ain't been playing. So that could come at a negative. Do you know what I mean? So they're not match fit. Whereas some teams are going to be match fit. They ain't going to be. They ain't going to play.
Because live games, like behind closed doors games, are going to feel like trophy friendlies anyway. To be honest with you. Like if you
actually PSG played Dortmund behind closed doors like before they started anyway, and then they
that was the final game that they played. Yeah. You're right.
Hey, no, the black kid from Norway is always giving man a little thing.
He DM'd me. I only just realized.
He's doing the thing, guys. 10 right now. Love heart. Yeah, full love. Big up, brother.
Yeah, he was like, sorry, I forgot to do your one. 7 out of 10. I'm like. I don't know if 7, it might even be, to be honest, I don't know. His name's Nicholas. His name's Nicholas. Big up
Nicholas. Always helping them with that. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Listen, Rafat. I'm with Rafat, fam. Imagine if you win the Champions League from a mini tournament.
That's dead.
You'll take it.
Can you? You'll take it, but it's Akeem, you'll take it, yeah. But when the man them link up and everyone's having their drink, and then you took it. You try to bring your medal. Like, yeah, all right, what you saying? I did my
Nah.
The 2021 was.
Now, let me tell you.
The 2021 didn't count, man. The 21 didn't count.
When they test the diamonds on someone's face, and it doesn't. This
whole year's cancelled. FA Cup as well.
Wait, hold on. If that's the case, let me ask you, man, a question then. Do any of you, man, care that much then if you win the FA Cup, for example? Do you even care? Like this year? Like, does it matter to you?
Bro, all I'm trying to say is it gonna feel the same? When you put your 2020 medal in the middle, yeah?
Obviously, if you win in it, like, you're gonna take it, like, you always take it, but it's still just not gonna be the same as another year. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's gonna remember it for that year you won it. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be like, it was that year anyway. Do you know what I mean?
It's the moments of, like, you know, when you look back at previous Premier League winning teams, you look at all the pivotal moments in the season that won the trophy. To be honest with you, I thought it was funny at first, like, Liverpool might not get the trophy, right? But when you deep it, it's actually quite unfair, you know.
No, I'm not gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie. If you think about it now, I can't remember. If someone was to ask you right now, what was the game of the season so far? I can't even remember any game this year. No, this season.
The game
when Southampton got beaten like 9-0.
Oh,
true, you know. What's the game of the season?
Hold on. Was it 8-1 or something?
You look like football, man. Man.
This is the Premier League. That's 9-0. That's a good.
That was funny. No, but I ain't gonna lie though. We
as a player, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, as a player,
we laugh. But
if you lose 9-0 as a player, like, when you're like on the coach and that, your dressing room, like, what do you say to each other? Like, in the dressing room, what are they saying? Like,
you're not going like, you're not tonight. None of that.
You're completely silent. You go home to your wife and kids, go straight to bed, sleep it off. Next day training, act like nothing happened.
Do you remember Hassan, who was in an interview afterwards when asking him bare questions? Bro, looked like he just wanted to end it there. He just
you know what? He came back.
He did come back.
Those things online. He looked like one of them pedo things. You know when they catch a pedo slipping and they start filming it.
Only game man can remember. That's it. I can't remember nothing else.
No, there were other games. I'll be real. I get that. My memory's fried as well.
Because I would remember, like, there hasn't really been any crackers this season, like, proper.
Yeah.
That's because your team's been awful, Tariq.
Your team's been dead.
Your team's been awful, so you've been having to play games.
We've been going for a transition.
You don't been transition.
We have.
Sounds like Chris.
We're transition geezer.
Bro, hey, Tariq, quick one, yeah. Have you seen Lucas Moura's video, yeah? Embarrassing.
I haven't seen it. What was it?
Oh, but it's hilarious.
What video?
No, what is it?
Right, we're gonna send it to you after this video, innit?
This was a big game.
Yeah, Wolves versus City.
This was a big game. I can't lie. This game was hard.
Oh yeah, just a quick one, people. Whilst you're watching this, make sure you head to GRM Daily's Instagram. I've just put a picture up of a big celebration. In the comments, make sure you put relegation Jack sent you here. I'm posting it right now.
Hey,
you look, go flood the comments right now, man. Relegation Jack thing here. Go to GRM's page and flood the comments right now, bro.
Oh yeah, Liverpool City was a good game. That was, wasn't it, like 4-1?
4-1.
But that wasn't really a cracker. Like, last season's one was better.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, last one was hard.
Oh, wait, hold on. On that.
But the quality of that game is way better than everything in the Premier League, though.
Yeah, you know, literally,
the quality in the pace of that game.
I watched that game, the one at the Etihad last season. Yeah, I was telling my boy, I was like, you know, that showed that them two are leagues above the next.
Everyone.
Full pelt, 90 minutes. They didn't stop. They're just running.
Movement, the way they were pinging it, everything was just the best. All right, let's move away from football for a little bit, though.
What about, we got to talk about Chelsea after this as well.
And we're going to talk about Angel Gomez still.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk about the Angel Gomez thing, man.
What?
Oh, all right, listen. Listen, AJ Fury confirmed.
Huh? Yeah.
In principle, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done before this fight happens, but still, it's good. The money's been agreed. I can't wait. It's going to be.
I'll be real. I think it's a bit. Yeah, like Jack said, it is a bit premature in terms of things still need to be agreed, and there's been loads of fights that has got the basic deal signed and then still not happened till years after, innit? So
this is happening.
And let's not, no, it's gonna happen, but I'm just talking about in date wise. And let's not forget the curve. Okay. And let's not forget curveballs. Like I know
Wilder.
Like, bro, Wilder still might just knock him out, innit? I know it's unlikely.
Might get a result against Joshua as well, you 100%.
Know. 100%. Let's not get it twisted because Wilder's still mandatory. Wilder's still got a random bang still. Never count that guy out.
But it's true. Joseph Oki not having it. Joseph Oki is saying that Dillian White got done dirty 100%. Have you seen 100%. The situation? He's been WBC mandatory for over 1,000 days, and he's still hasn't got a title shot. It's
what I don't understand is why is Eddie Hearn?
No, I'm not gonna lie. Eddie Hearn is all them man them. Yeah, trust me. Remember we went to Dillian White's gym, Jack. Remember we was in Brixton. Remember Brixton? We went to.
No, that was David Hay. That was
David Hay. No, it was Dillian White. I was in Brixton.
I wasn't there. I didn't go to that one. Miguel's gym.
Bro, me and you was together. We was in Brixton. Yeah, we went to the gym.
No. That wasn't his gym.
And all the Dillian White's man them came up.
Yeah, they came rolling through when Wilder turned up.
They came rolling through. You're trying to tell me that man there don't want to roll out Eddie Hearn right now. You're trying to tell me.
It's true, but it's like Eddie Hearn, yeah. With Eddie Hearn, it's like he does hold the keys, and if he really wants to make a big fight, like he can. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's just stalling.
He's boiling it. Yeah, he's boiling it.
Because to be fair, in this situation, I think Mauricio Sullivan, who's the head of the WBC or the guy for the WBC, he's been making very weird decisions here and there. But in Eddie Hearn's defense in this situation, you've got the biggest fight in probably UK boxing history. Yeah. One of the biggest fights of our generation by far. I need the generation for that. Whilst as a man, you should be honouring Dillian White's WBC mandatory. If it gets in the way of the biggest fight in history, then I can see what Eddie Hearn's trying to hold it up and say, look, let's get these two fights out of the way. If we don't need a trilogy,
he's been doing that to Dillian White. Dillian White does like the big fights and that.
No, I agree. It's a very unfortunate situation. I think White would have a chance to get Wilder. I agree with Ron.
When White lost to AJ, yeah, that just knocked him down in terms of priority for.
Yeah, but the problem is the problem is because he's mandatory. He should, regardless of what people's opinion is of him, for how long he's been mandatory, he should have got his shot. Do you know what I'm saying? It don't make any sense. There's something about him where he's not a prize fighter. He doesn't seem to bring in. That's where Eddie Hearn probably thinks, and he doesn't seem to bring in the money for him, and that's probably why he's not got. Do you know what I'm saying? I will say quickly one thing though. With Wilder, I will say one thing. This whole period of coronavirus, I think we talk about it a lot in football. In fact, we don't talk about it a lot in football when it comes to form and mentality, But how all these athletes, whether it's basketball, football, boxing, how they trained and treated themselves in this 4 to 5, 6 month period, that is going to be a huge, huge difference. Because you know what? Before coronavirus, you could probably call and predict how football's going to go, how tennis is going to go, how boxing's going to go. But you know what, bro? If Tyson's been battering the beers, if White has not been keeping himself in shape, bro, it can all change. Let's get it.
Dillian White as well. What we have to remember is when he fought Joshua, he wasn't taking boxing as seriously as he is now. So back then he had a dodgy shoulder before he went into the fight. His strength and conditioning was terrible, and he was still relatively novice. Because bear in mind, Dillian White started as a kickboxer, has a very limited amateur career as well, and he's sort of grown into his boxing career. So you look at him now. If you look at his resume as well, he's beaten Joseph Parker,
champion
Rivas. He's beaten who else? Derek Chisora over 2 fights. One of them a bit contentious. And then who else has he fought? He's knocked out Lucas Brown brutally. Who else has he fought? Robert Helenius. Like, there's a lot of fighters he's fought.
Yeah, definitely.
Level. And
but go on.
And I mean, this is what he's had to do to maintain his WBC position. And you look at a lot of these other fighters who get their mandatory out of completely nowhere, get to fight, and then they keep it moving afterwards, and then they recircle them again. Like, it's the maddest thing I've seen in terms of rankings.
It's all mad. The whole that's what doesn't make any sense in it. But I just wanted to ask you, man, do you feel that AJ doesn't get the respect that he should get? Because a lot of the time people just say, like, look, even comments saying, "Oh, like he's just a poster boy, bro." He holds all the belt.
I'll be real with you. Sorry.
Yeah, go on. Now go on.
You see this AJ versus Tyson fight is going to be the biggest UK split ever. With all the BLM thing, the way AJ's just been holding the mic. I don't know if you guys saw Tyson Fury's recent response to another thing that he was speaking about. Giving on to AJ about, if I told people not to shop in them shops, exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, AJ's going to have to turn his name back to Femi, blood. Because you see right now, the UK split on this fight is gonna be mashed up.
You know the thing is,
racist speech the other week. It wasn't racist at all. But anyway.
No, but you know what? But you know what? The reason why we know that's gonna happen, is we forget that even when it came to Mayweather versus McGregor, that was even like a very black versus white thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the people who were supporting Conor McGregor was one side, Mayweather the other side.
It was only because McGregor said some mad things. Though.
I know, and that was even then. Do you know what I'm saying?
That wouldn't be normally the case, but yeah, you're right.
I know, 100%. But that's what I'm saying. There was a split, so this is definitely going to be a split, innit?
That's my opinion, anyway.
It's going to be huge, innit? But anyway, either way, we'll see.
We'll see, man. We will definitely see.
Another comment though, quickly before we move on from Amir. He's asking Jai, why isn't Ruiz in the mix when talking about future fights? It's all Fury, AJ Wilder, etc. For me personally, I think Ruiz is not serious enough, and I think he's right. You know, he had the world at his oyster. He claimed all the belts of Joshua. He had the opportunity to beat him in the second and set up a big unification fight, and he threw it by not training properly. And I mean, his old trainer Manny Robles, who he then fired after the fight, he even said he didn't take it seriously. The money got to his head. So I think that's another reason. That's the reason why I don't think Ruiz is in the mix. He needs to earn his way back up again because, I mean, initially, yeah.
That sacking manager thing's just dumb. It's like, what, are you upset that he made you eat burgers? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's not controlling what you're at home. Do you know, you can't do that. But yeah,
let's get back to some football anyway, because the king wanted to bring this up. Yeah, I'm trying to say. So you got. What's
your man's opinion of it?
Is this old though? Was this old? Is this recent?
I thought it was recent.
I heard it was
old. It must be old. It must be old though, because I saw in the clip. It's like bare people.
Yeah, and then the video he said that he was 16 and that.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, he didn't look that young. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you know what it is? I thought it was fake at first because it looks like it's CGI in the background when he's talking, and they show like clips of blogger like this, and I was like, no, please, not today.
What do you man find the funniest thing about it?
You know what it is? I don't.
And they actually caught it on camera, like this actually happened, like because it's like you're watching it, and a bit of you's thinking, "Nah, this must be fake," but you're actually watching it with your own 2 eyes, like you're looking at it.
Like you guys all know that I'm a God-fearing you, innit? Like, but I'll be real with you. See, when I go to church, no pastor slapping me in my head in that the way he was doing that, bro. Like, he's on his white hairs and that. Nah,
everyone's can never be. And it's from 2016. Everyone's saying
from 2016. It's old. Yeah, it was 2016. Cool.
And I think like they were saying he was asking to get taller and to stop him from injuries as well.
Yeah, man, bro, it's not easy. You know, it is player injury is one of them things, isn't it? Like, if you can pray it away, bro, go pray it away, fam. I don't care what no one says. But don't let the pastor slap you in the head like that, because that just looks nuts. All right, man. Listen. All right, then, well, let's get into it, man. Before we obviously wrap up the show.
Yeah, but we need to talk about Chelsea as well, you know.
What about Chelsea? We always miss out Chelsea, Jack.
No, do you know what? Because I saw someone comment at the beginning saying, "Don't let Akeem and Jake air Chelsea out." Well, I mean, what do you reckon about them moving forward?
What? Are we going to talk about all their buyers and all that? Let's just wait.
Well, they brought Ziyech, haven't they? He's confirmed. He's already confirmed. But that's a big signing. He's a baller. Timo Werner as well. And then I can't remember who else they've been linked with. But
Havertz. What's his name? Havertz.
Yeah.
Havertz.
Bro, he's coming moving. Chelsea are a problem, you know. Think about it, because Werner's one of the biggest goal scorers in Europe, if not the world, right now.
He's been missing.
Let me ask you, who do you think is closer at full strength? Who do you think is closer to Man City and Liverpool out of Man United and Chelsea and Tottenham?
Tottenham are out.
Listen, this is what I was just about to say.
That again?
You don't need to make some signings before you even get considered in that bracket.
Hear what I'm saying?
You need one new defender. That's it. Trust me.
And Jesus, you need Jesus as well. But anyway,
Lucas Moura has him.
I think bro's hugging up his Ajax ball. You're talking about Lucas Moura.
Guys, when you see that video, you're gonna just shake your head. Anyway, I'll send it to you. Afterwards, just watch it.
What video?
What we're talking about.
Moura. Oh yeah, I'll watch it afterwards. Yeah.
What was that? Well, what I was gonna say, yeah, I'll be real. You see Chelsea on paper, they look like potential. That's all I see. I see Gilmore. I see Mount. I see Abraham. Exactly. What does potential do? Potential is nothing. You see it in action, bro.
Yeah, it was a big part of the Ajax team that got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Blocked out by you lot. What do you call it? Timo Werner is he second top goal scorer in the league behind Lewandowski. Germany's number 9. Obviously, he has been missing a bit since after the coronavirus stopped the Bundesliga. And I think obviously Havertz is one of the biggest prospects in world football at the moment. I think everyone.
Bro, I'll be real. I don't think their team is that good, innit? It's just overrated. It's just they're
gonna say
mad overrated team, honestly.
No, Dick, so he ain't the Robin Hood David. No. This is a Chris comment. You know what I throw it back to 04. That's a Chris comment still.
Man said Damien Duff. Oh my
God. You're a good Chris run.
Anyway, when we come back, I know we're talking about predictions now. Just to say, that's why now when we come back in this next week or so, we're going to see all these teams at full strength as they are without any signings, and then we're gonna see which teams really actually have starting 11s that are going to rip apart. Because honestly, Tariq, I know we're going to talk about it now. Tariq, your starting 11 ain't all that, geezer. Your starting 11 ain't all that.
It is. I'm not even going to say too much. I'm not going to say too much because every Man United fan I've spoken to, they've just done the most talking. Oh, you're going to see Pogba and Bruno. Oh, Rashford, Martial. Yeah, if you lot don't win, this is everything you lot have been praying for.
We're winning 4-1.
Bruno, if you lot don't win, it's gazy for all of you. Trust me.
Why?
Because you lot have been talking. This is what you all been saying all season. I'm just keeping quiet in it because I don't know. I'm not 100% certain. Like, I was a bit cagey before, but I don't know in it. But all I'm saying is, if you lot lose, it's peak.
Tariq, you're losing 4-1.
We're gonna win 3-1. That's my prediction.
What?
That's my prediction. We're gonna win 3-1.
What against United?
Yeah, that's my prediction. Trust me.
Where are you getting the goals from? Where are you getting the goals from if Harry Kane's held up by Harry?
20 scores our goals anyway. 20 scores our goals anyway.
Let me tell you something.
Hey.
Let me tell you something. Man United are strong right now.
Strongest midfield in the league. Bang!
Strong, bro.
Not in
the league, but
I'm saying in the league. Tell me a better midfield in the league. Tell me about it.
You got Bruno, Bruno,
Pogba, and the pasta. Yeah, we got them three. Yeah,
no.
Scott not even gonna start. That's not even Fred for no reason. He's not even gonna start. He's gonna start Matic. Watch.
Hey Dan.
Exactly.
Dan, you're a Liverpool fan.
How you know? You might just like jump on.
I know Dan.
How do you know he's a Liverpool fan?
I know Dan, bro.
Okay.
Big up
yeah,
Dan.
I know Dan. Big up Dan. Dan, you're a Liverpool fan. You've won your thing. Relax. You chill up there. Do your thing. Don't worry about us, man, who's fighting for CL. You see our thing, yeah? Bruno, Pogba, and Scott McTominay is smoke.
Bro, why did you say Scott McTominay's on the bench? He's on the bench.
No, he's not. No. He starts on the Fred. Has to start with Fred for balance. Has to start.
Bro, Fred is not.
Bro.
Fred
has to chill. Fred has to chill. Trust me. Fred has to chill.
And then we got Matic and Scott McTominay on the bench. Come on. What you got? Bergwijn to cause problems. Bergwijn.
What are you saying, Bergwijn? You lot would have loved him. Do you know what? I'm saying I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying wait and seeing it. Wait on Friday and seeing it. Then we can do all the talking in it. That's all I'm saying.
Bro, I'm just wondering who's going to get the ball back from when Sissoko bangs it in the stands.
Hey, Jordan. Let me tell you something. You see Kane? Kane's on trial for us, rude boy. That's what he's doing in this game. He has to play to show us. He has to play to show us, God. Yeah.
And you know what? Another thing. That's why we're going to see it is mad that there's not going to be any home advantage as well. There's no fans at all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Tottenham fans aren't loud anyway. But you know what I'm saying?
Well, trust me. When I went,
he's looking for a draw out there, isn't he?
No, it's not a draw out, bro. Every time I've got it's not a draw out, bro. Jack, every time I've watched Tottenham in the stands, they ain't loud, bro.
Don't try it because every time I go, it's loud. Yeah. When I went Old Trafford, you lot were winning 2-1, and you lot were just sitting there like you wasn't even trying.
I
was there live. Oh,
it's light work.
Let's get into some match predictions, man. Bun this, man. You guys in the comments, please let us know your match predictions right now, man. We want to know your thoughts as well, man. Let us know your match predictions right now. Jack, what are you telling me right now, my brother?
Tottenham Man United.
Yeah, let's just stick with like the earlier fixtures, innit, for this week.
Okay, so Aston Villa, Sheffield United.
Yeah, and then City, Arsenal.
So 2-1. Yeah, so 2-1 Sheffield United against Aston Villa, I think. Man City 4-0.
I think that's a draw. I think we love Chris Wilder, and I know Chris Wilder came out and said that. I know the spirit in it, but I think Sheffield United ain't gonna win that game.
I think they will.
Like they probably relied on their fans this season, and not being on their fans is gonna be big. And obviously, I feel like Villa are gonna try and give it one last push. Obviously, they are probably gonna go down.
They are.
Give it one last push.
You see for me,
this sort of foregone conclusion. They win this game in the relegation zone. So I think
King, what you saying? Let me see some. You guys, let me know your thoughts below. 2-0 Sheffield.
I'm gonna say 0-0. You know, I don't think there's gonna be any goals for that one.
You're so boring,
bro. It's just gonna be a ball draw.
Why are you bringing negative energy to the first game?
Bro, it's not negative.
I'm here 0-0. Okay, I want goals.
All right, so let's talk. All right, tomorrow 8:15, the first big game since quarantine. Man City versus Arsenal.
Woo!
So a man Arsenal win 3-2 versus City with no pressure from fans. They'll shine.
Yeah, bro, they say you're worried about no pressure. Listen,
let me tell you, if City score in the first 10 minutes, it's gonna be.
It's funny that everyone that's predicting the City City Arsenal match, no one's giving Arsenal a chance. Like everyone's saying it's gonna be 4-0, it's gonna be 5-0, it's gonna be 3-1, it's gonna be 4-1. Like no one's giving them a chance. Full strength, Sane's back. It's gonna be peak.
Can I tell you? Say that again. Say that again to you.
It's gonna be peak. Trust me.
I think it's gonna be peak.
I will say no.
10-2. You're lucky if they score 2.
Nah, but you know what, bro? You know what?
Can I tell you why? and this is gonna sound so dumb, but you know, City, yeah, they're so hard that if they get into that mode where they feel like they're training and they're just popping it and doing their thing, Arsenal won't know what to do, bro.
No, but do you know what?
They're not balling out.
For the last couple of seasons, City have actually just been giving it to Arsenal like Arsenal haven't even come to last season. Didn't they beat them like 3-0 like week after one final, one league, 3-0?
Give them lick.
The Bruyne is screwing them like it hasn't even been close. Like I know Arsenal fans are actually scared. Like Arsenal players are actually scared of that fixture because they know how City just run over them.
Do you not think there's going to be a factor of like maybe Arsenal could cause upset because it's like out of the blue. His first game back. Because look at the way Kevin De Bruyne came back into fitness and that. Do you know what I'm saying? Certain man might be wobbly. Do you know what I'm saying?
I can't even. The only thing wobbly tomorrow is Arsenal's back end. That's the only thing wobbly.
Can I say something? You always know Premier's back when all the Arsenal jokes.
Do you know what the Arsenal jokes? All you need to think about, yeah, is City start a lineup and then their bench full strength, and they might just bring on Mahrez.
Nah, you know what? Phil Foden's gonna get a game in. Phil Foden's gonna get that 45 minutes because they're gonna.
They might just bring on Mahrez, Gundogan. They might just bring on Silva in the 70th minute. It's peak.
They might as well send this man on the pitch tomorrow.
Give them some heart.
Yeah, they'll give him more of a chance to win.
It's gonna be peak. De Bruyne is gonna be ready, like. Oh man, it's gonna be so peak. And then Arsenal are just gonna put Lacazette up front.
All right, let's see. All right, let's go to the next fixture. Norwich versus Southampton.
I think I went with an away win. I think I went with an away win.
Yeah, same.
I think that's a draw.
Norwich.
No draw. That looks like a ball draw.
I don't know, man, because Norwich
they don't score goals.
Jack, you know more about Norwich. Norwich, you know how their style of players like. They think they can ball. Like they think they're balling. Oh my god! We forgot to talk about the fact that they're gonna do the entrance music and that.
Bro, that is mad, man. Bro, it come like wrestling, you know.
All right, what song you like? Genuine question. What song would you pick if you were coming on as a sub? If they said, look, you could choose whatever song you want. What song? The comments.
Exactly. No cap.
I'm little baby. I'm emotionally scarred. Get myself in the zone.
Little baby, yeah.
Some little baby and that. Put myself in the zone and that. Come on, Hattie.
I'm doing that. You know that Little Baby and 42 Doug song.
Yeah, the whistle. Someone in the comments said they'll play talking the hardest.
Is it serious?
Has to be.
Is it serious, though?
It's serious.
No, it's serious. Is
that a joke?
Keys will be a peanut song. It'll be some peanut thing.
I'll put on some Afro beats. Bro, I have the Afro.
So I said, Vartel, not okay. Not okay.
What do you think? Like the players are gonna submit to the team, or when I come and play the song?
I might have to
Tariq, no offense, yeah, but Mourinho's shutting that down, innit? Mourinho's saying no.
Yeah, Only will let you lot pick whatever song, then he'll bring Jesse Lingard to dance for them while they're coming on the pitch and that.
Don't hate.
If that is true,
I'm gonna play walk all over Ollie. Trust me.
That's true. I'm DMing every single Premier League player to make sure he plays.
You're putting your new team.
That's what I was going to come out to, the Dutch and the Huncho.
I'm playing.
How do all of that? You know the possibility.
Bro, someone said everybody coming into that Afro beats. He says scenes.
Oh my days. Hey, bro, all he's doing is feeding them headlines with Souness talking about Pog after, you know.
He was like, look at this. All right, so speaking of Souness and Pogba, Spurs versus Man United. Everybody getting your predictions right now.
3-1 to Spurs.
They're holding four.
3-1 United. 3-1 United. Jack, what are you saying?
I'm going 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. All right, cool. 2-2 draw. All right, well, listen.
They're holding 4 in it, and I think Pogba's going to get 1. Bruno
Kane's going to score 2. Son's going to score 1.
Rashford 1, and then I think the
Rashford's
goal
going
of the day is going to be Martial. Martial.
Against us.
Huh?
Come on, man.
All scores against us. Rashford's going to score 1. Kane 2. Son 1.
No.
Listen, everybody knows now they definitely got that, man. Am I going mad as well?
Hey, quick one. Tariq, because we're talking about predictions, do you think Spurs is going to get top 4?
Do you know what? Yeah, I was chatting to my boy today, and I was like, if we beat United, then that is the momentum we need to get top 4. If we don't beat United, it's gone. It's finished.
Okay, cool. All right. As long as you know, I was thinking we're gonna end your season. We're gonna end your season on Friday.
No, we're gonna end yours. But I'm just saying, realistically, if we don't win against United, then top 4, that's it for us.
All right, man. Listen, that's all from us today. Big up everybody who's giving us their donations. Big up everybody who's tuning in today. Make sure you guys like, share, comment. You know, make sure you share the video with the people then. Thank you, everybody who kind of tuned in for today's Fickers in Quarantine. Make sure you guys get on to Chris. And make sure you guys head down to GRM as well. Make sure you spam them comments. Relegation Jack sent me, man. Got the GRM taped up on this Friday.
Yes, man. Big up GRM.
Right. Do you know what I mean? Tariq, thank you so much for coming into the show, bro. Good to have a Spurs man. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
In fact, on that note, we got a live watch along on Friday as well. So make sure you check that out. Spurs United. We're going to be doing that.
I didn't get the invite.
Huh? You'll be one of the next ones, Geezer. You'll be one of the next ones. But, yeah. Tottenham Man United on Friday. Make sure.
Come on,
Yeah. All right, man. You've been here with myself, Big J.
CheekySport at
Relegation Giant.
TP, Tariq.
And we're out, man. Peace and love, man. Thank you, everybody tuned in, man. Thank you. Peace.
Peace.
Ugh.